morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering the NBA playoffs. We'll also be talking about the NFL Christmas game sells to a new streaming service. We'll also be discussing Conor McGregor breaks records with UFC 303 fight. We'll also be covering dumb criminals since it's Wednesday, and make sure that you guys stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into our oddities of the day. Before we start, though, I just wanted to ask that you guys like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is gsmcpodcast.net. This just puts your question at the top of the list so I can see it, and it also really helps the show. Good morning, Tate. How are you doing?
Good morning, Miss Faith. All right, so today is Miss Faith's birthday,
It is.
and we actually sang happy birthday to Faith, but that was not going to be on air. That will not be my.
Sound bad. I didn't think it sounded bad.
That would not be my video debut of my singing voice coming out there. That is never going to happen. So
no new album's gonna drop.
Girl, you do not want to buy that album. It'd be funny, but it wouldn't be good. All right, so talk to me. What's your plans for your birthday? I don't know if you want to share the number, or that's up to you as far as.
I'm turning today. I am 23. Woohoo.
Okay, 23. That's an awesome. First off, that is like the 23 and 24 are probably the best years. And then I'm going to go 34, 35. Those are sweet numbers in my book.
Okay.
Faith is like, okay.
But today, let's see, going to the gym like I always do. Probably gonna go do like a birthday lunch, and then later tonight there is some live music going on at a local music venue where I live, so me and my boyfriend are gonna do that, and that about sums up my day.
Okay, and then we gotta give boyfriend some respect here.
Mm-hmm.
Faith is starting. I mean, Faith starts her day very early, so
yes.
We start the show at 7 a.m. So she informed me that boyfriend at 4 o'clock in the morning is wishing her a happy birthday.
Yeah, because
I gotta give him some props on that one.
It's because I shot up this morning at 4 a.m. thinking that I had overslept and I still had an hour left to sleep. So, but I was like, woke up in a panic, and he was like, happy birthday. And then we both went back to sleep, and then I got up an hour later.
Okay, see, that wouldn't happen with me. If I wake up, I'm up for the day. I'm not going like an hour. It's going to take me 9 hours just to go back to sleep. So I'm not going back to sleep.
I like my sleep, so.
That is like we've talked about this before. That is a skill that I am so impressed with you. I just don't have it. I don't have that gear. I'm getting a little bit more sleep nowadays.
That's good.
But just going back to sleep that's impressive.
Yeah.
So, all right, we have an interesting show today. So looking forward to diving into this a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so starting out, we're going to be covering the NBA playoffs. We'll first be talking about the Nuggets versus the Timberwolves. So Nikola Jokic scored 40 points, added 13 assists, and led the Denver Nuggets to a 112-97 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 5 of their second-round NBA playoff series on Tuesday night, or last night. The Nuggets have won 3 games in a row to take a 3-2 series lead, and the reigning champs are 1 win away from a return trip to the Western Conference Finals. Jokic received his 3rd MVP trophy in a pre-game ceremony, and he went out and played like it. It was the first time Jokic scored 40 points in these playoffs, and marked his first career playoff game with more than 35 points, 10 assists, and 5 rebounds. Jokic had 16 of his points in the third quarter as the Nuggets built a double-digit lead, and he had no trouble consistently scoring over Defensive Player of the Year Rudy Gobert. The Timberwolves were without starting guard Mike Conley in the Game 5 loss. Anthony Edwards, meanwhile, had his worst game of the series, finishing with 18 points on a 5 of 15 shooting. The Wolves will try to keep their season alive at home in Thursday's Game 6. And that's all I got.
Okay, fair. Do you understand? First up, when they were playing the Lakers, I called them Freddy Cougar and Jason and all the scary movies because they just haunt the Lakers.
Yep.
And then Minnesota came out and just punched them in the mouth right out the gate, taking the first two games in Denver. This don't even seem like the same series anymore. It was like Minnesota.
A little bit of a breather.
It really is one of those monster movies where it's just like you just beat him down. You think he's dead. You're like, and you kick him in the gut one more time, like you walk away and he just rises up like the Undertaker. That's Jokic right there. Man, they don't even look like the team that lost the first two games at home. They went on the road and it was like mere bag of shells. No problem. We got you handled in Minnesota. Minnesota's like, that's our new home. And then last night, Faith, I'm looking at this. I'm watching Jokic get his third MVP trophy. Rudy Gobert is defensive MVP, and they're like, we're going to put our defensive player of the year on the NBA's MVP, and let's see what happened. And Jokic showed why he's the MVP. He schooled Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Dropping 40 on him, went 15 of 22 shooting, 13 assists, 7 rebounds, no turnovers, got 16 points and 4 assists in the third quarter. He owned the defensive player of the year. I mean, Jokic, there's no answer for this guy. That's the thing that makes it so amazing is he doesn't look so coordinated and he doesn't look so athletic. And there is absolutely no one that can handle him. When you say defensive player of the year, that's the best defensive player in the NBA, the best defensive player in the world. Jokic dropped 40 on him. An easy 40. Made Rudy Gobert did not look like defensive player of the year. When you drop down help because Rudy Gobert needed help, then the passing of Jokic is just, there's no answer for it. 13 assists, the rebounds, you put him one-on-one, he will just school you. And that was, after taking both of the games in Minnesota and then coming back home to Denver to take, just to take Rudy Gobert's lunch was just, it was just impressive. Minnesota had a rough day on the road. Karl Anthony Towns, he struggled. Anthony Edwards went 1 from 8 from the field in the first quarter. They had 11 turnovers. Didn't have Mike Conley. It was just like they were just overmatched. And now Denver, running off 3 games in a row, goes back to Minnesota and to possibly close them out after Minnesota taking the first 2 games on the road. Minnesota could get swept and lose 4 games in a row and just dismissed. That's if they win in Minnesota coming up, they would have just handled them after spotting them 2 games. It's just something that, I wasn't expecting.
Hmm.
Minnesota tried to make a brief run uh, in the third quarter, but that was about it. This game was just handled. This game was in hand.
Hmm.
And it was the perfect celebration for Jokic getting the MVP. You could they had a chance to celebrate him getting the MVP at home, and then they put on a clinic. It was a perfect night for the Denver Nuggets. And that's pretty much what it was.
All right.
You can see why you're like I look at this and I watch this game, and as a Laker fan, I'm like, the Lakers have no answer for this team
Yeah.
even next year.
Hmm.
So it's a that was a rough one to watch. All
Hmm.
right.
All right, well, moving on from that, we're now going to be talking about the Knicks versus the Pacers. So Tyrese Halliburton came up small on the big stage. The Pacers star turned invisible when they needed him most in a 121-91 second round Game 5 loss to the Knicks. The All-Star failed as both an offensive engine and a team leader. After excelling the prior 3 games, Halliburton had just 13 points and 5 assists, his minus 22 by far the worst of Indiana's starter. I've just got to do a better job of being aggressive, Halliburton said. I think we go back to game 1. I said the same thing after game 1. It's more on me than it is on what anybody else is doing, so I'll fix that next game. I just didn't do what I'm supposed to today, and I'll be better in game 6. Coming into that game 1 loss with a bad back, Halliburton was ineffective with just 6 points on 6 shots. But in the 3 games that followed, the point guard had bounced back to average a 29.7 points on a .550 shooting and hit 17 of 37 from deep. That's the Halliburton they needed Tuesday, but they didn't get him. The Halliburton they got was tentative, dribbling around the perimeter, not getting downhill, and not defending. For Halliburton to have any success Friday, the Pacers are going to need to run, and that means they'll need to defend. Halliburton's needs to run to excel, but with Indiana taking the ball out of the basket all night, they were faster out of the post-game locker room than they were in the transition all evening.
Okay. This is just weird. It just comes flat out to Indiana is a different team at home than they are on the road. When they're on the road, they're a shell of themselves. And even though the Knicks have been beat up, uh, when you just make that adjustment from Indiana being at home to Indiana being away, also the Knicks are a much tougher team at home. Jalen Brunson, his fifth 40-point game, 44 points, went 18 for 35 shooting, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, uh, averaging 33 points a game on the season for 2024. Makes him he's just been a stud. But there is no answer for Brunson at all. And then Isaiah Hartenstein put on a clinic last night rebounding. There was bringing him in the game just changed the game. 17 rebounds, 12 offensive rebounds. Uh he's the ninth player to do it since 1977, but 12 offensive rebounds, that changes the game completely. Because those are second chance points that you as a team like Indiana, you can't allow one guy to have more offensive rebounds than your entire team, then having Josh Hart come off the bench and just drop 18 and 11. It was just a lopsided, game for me. It's just amazing how different these two teams are when they're at home. They're not the same teams at all. Um, Tom Thibodeau. Let's talk Tom Thibodeau. He has been getting beat up, and I'm one of them that beats him up, that he has played his players too much. And that's why many believe, including myself, that's why they've had so many injuries. But Thibodeau made some great adjustments, putting McBride in the lineup, uh, made a major impact. The Knicks being way more physical uh, on the boards last night. It was just a masterful uh, performance by the Knicks, and Indiana had no answer. I can't even say, hey, this is something that's going to keep going, because these two teams are just different teams when they're at home, when they're away. Indiana's going home the next game, and I'm expecting Indiana to be the same dominant team they were when they play at home. This is, to me, feels like a 7-game series, but and an entertaining series to watch as well. But these two teams are just incredibly different when they're on the road. Mm-hmm. So.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the NFL Christmas game sales to a new streaming service, and you will need another subscription to watch, so make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows where 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Before the break, we were covering the NBA playoff games that happened last night, and now we're going to be talking about the NFL Christmas game sales to a new streaming service. But before we do that, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is gsmcpodcast.net. This just puts your question at the top of the list so I can see it, and it also really helps the show. Alrighty.
You know I have to mess with you while you're doing that sometimes. That's how I roll.
Tate always sends me little messages, and sometimes he likes to do it while I'm in the middle of my script.
That can't be boring, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty. So, the NFL Christmas game sales to a new streaming service, and you would need another subscription to watch it. So the NFL has already announced it will have games on Christmas Day in 2024, despite the holiday falling on a Wednesday. In advance of the NFL's scheduled release set for mid-May, word has now leaked that those games will be on the streaming platform new to NFL. Netflix is the reported home for the NFL games on Christmas. Per John Urand of Puck Sports. Netflix will be the third streaming exclusive destination for NFL fans, following Amazon Prime Video and Peacock from NBC Universal. Adding paywalls is nothing new for the NFL. Since 1987, ESPN has carried NFL on cable television. Those games weren't previously available to fans of other teams, though, so it has a value add since the home markets still are able to see the games for free on broadcast television. While the NFL added Thursday night games in 2006, they were also on cable television, this time on NFL Network. NFL games have been available on streaming as an additional viewing option for several years, but it wasn't until 2022 that the league began broadcasting games exclusively on a streaming platform. Amazon purchased the right to Thursday night football broadcasts, and you've needed a Prime Video subscription in order to watch those games. In 2023, the NFL again partnered with Amazon to create a brand new streaming package for one Black Friday game per year. They also expanded their streaming services with the addition of Peacock exclusive regular season game. Now, instead of one streaming service plus some way to watch ESPN, you would need two streamers. The angst of the media and fans didn't rise up at any of those changes. The games weren't previously available to viewers, so there wasn't an uproar. Games were more available, not less, because the games came to cable and streaming. You wouldn't have been able to watch them on Sunday over the air. Now you have the chance. And that all changed in 2023 when the NFL moved one of the wildcard games exclusively on Peacock, NBC Universal streaming service, and said the moves were good for fans. Now a game that had previously been available free for everyone nationwide was going to be behind a paywall, and it worked. Nearly 300 new subscribers signed up for Peacock to watch the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Miami Dolphins in January of 2024. Not only did they stay for the free trial, they converted and actually paid money. Reporters said 71% of new subscribers stayed on the streaming platform after the playoff game, and with NBC's coverage over the Summer Olympics coming to Peacock in 2024, it was a monumental win for the streaming service. So, I'm shocked that they're also adding to Netflix.
Girl, I want to hear you talk. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear Sister Faith's thoughts on this one.
I'm just shocked that they're moving to Netflix because Netflix has already made the deal with WWE, and they're going to start doing all of that on Netflix. And then, the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul thing is going to be streaming on Netflix as well. So I'm a little taken aback that football will also be coming to Netflix. And I just feel like
Netflix is making it happen.
I know, and who doesn't have Netflix at this point, but I don't know. I feel like you're still going to have some upset people because, one, it's not going to be broadcasted on cable television. It's only exclusively for a streaming service. And then, all those people subscribe to Peacock because of that wild card game, and they stayed with Peacock probably because they thought, the streaming only available games would be on Peacock, and now the Christmas games aren't going to be on Peacock. They're going to be on Netflix. So, I don't know.
Okay. First thing, when you were doing this, talking about this, the first thing kept popping in my head is Roger Goodell.
Oh, yeah.
The Super Bowl will never be on streaming.
Yeah.
I'm calling shenanigans on that, girl. Do you understand? First off, 71% of the people that were brand new subscribers on Peacock for that Kansas City Chiefs game, they stayed.
Mm-hmm.
They stayed, Faith.
Mm-hmm.
That's a massive number. 71%. If
right,
you'd have told me 40%, I'd have said that's a massive number. But 71%, please. There is going to be some cheddar passed out for these games.
Yeah.
People are going to be paying major money when you hear 71%. And I said I would have been blown away by 40%.
Mm-hmm.
These streaming services are going to have a bidding war. The next go around for all these games, there are going to be some massive record-breaking numbers. The NFL is headed to streaming. And I think about this as a kid. or younger, I remember people were upset because the Duke North Carolina game was going to be on ESPN2, and it was a regular season game. I was in college, and the fact that they were starting to put major games on cable television and things of that nature, and now it is just, you expect these games to be on cable.
Mm-hmm.
In your lifetime, you only expect them to be on cable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in your little nieces and nephews' future, they're only going to expect these games to be on streaming. That's kind of the take. Go ahead.
Well, that's like, so for me, I don't have cable television. I can't even remember the last time that I had I think growing up at my house with my parents, I think the last year that we had like any type of like cable or satellite television, I think I was like 12 or 13, because that was when Netflix
Yes.
was getting really big with the whole like online streaming. And so I think we eventually just like got rid of it because Netflix had happened, and then Hulu came out, and then Amazon Prime Video. So I mean, for me, it's a lot more convenient to watch something on a streaming platform than it is to like try and like go out somewhere to watch it, because they have broadcast television.
Hmm.
It's just like nobody like my age has cable television.
Faith, I was
Cable
going
television
to comment on
market,
this.
I feel like cable television market is like 65 plus, and
Faith, I'm telling you. Okay, this is what I was going to say.
they're
I
not
feel
gonna be
like
around forever. So
I feel like the people that got cable television also got a landline. Do you feel that way? Like,
yeah.
I don't know that many people
Mm-mm.
that have cable television.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's, in the US.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like here I do. In
Mm-hmm.
Europe you do, because in the UK everybody gets BBC. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone has it, and it is just included in Wi-Fi. I didn't even realize I had cable television here in Europe for 2 years, Faith, and I didn't even realize it.
Well, you can actually. So
Yes,
I have a smart TV, and it's like it's by Google, and
yep,
I get free live television with Google.
right. But that's not cable.
It is
That's
it's
a,
kind of cable because
it's like cable alternative. But
yeah,
it's not cable. But I get
yeah,
where you're coming
but
from.
it's kind of like cable. I get
Yes.
free channels with that come with
Yeah.
commercials.
That's
So.
what I mean. Faith, I didn't even know I had cable. I
Hmm.
mean, or that I had what you're see, because that's
Yeah.
not technically cable, but that stuff that you're talking about, I didn't even know I had these channels.
Hmm.
Like, I was talking to someone and then found out we actually had these channels, and I'm like, oh, I could have been watching other. I had no clue, and then I found out about it. Then I forgot I had it.
Hmm.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
It's the world, like you said, people are going to get used to watching their WWE on Netflix, because those WWE guys, they're loyal.
Hmm.
They're WWE to the bone. So they're not, I mean, they're loyal. They're sticking around. These people for Christmas, I also thought about when I heard this story, is that how bad the NBA messed up,
Hmm.
because Christmas Day was for the NBA.
Hmm.
No longer. No longer. Christmas
Yeah.
Day now belongs to the NFL.
Hmm.
I feel like college football messed up, and I feel like the NBA messed up. Because if I was college football, I would have redone the entire college football calendar with this whole college football thing.
Hmm.
And I would have had all the major bowls or the college football playoffs kick off on Christmas Day
Hmm.
or Christmas Eve,
Hmm.
and just run the college football playoff first rounds right there. the second round, New Year's Day. I think this window's been open for decades, and now the NFL has just kicked that door in, and they're bringing their friend Netflix with them, and it works. It works perfect, Faith. You're gonna sit down. You're gonna wake up. You're gonna open your Christmas presents and everything, and it's gonna be an entire Netflix day. You're gonna open your presents. You're gonna have some food. You're gonna watch the games on Netflix, and then you're gonna shift on over to all your little Christmas programs that night that are all on Netflix. Netflix knows this. It is a perfect match for Christmas Day. Because those Christmas programs on Netflix roll right after the game, go right into those programs. I think it's a beautiful marriage that's going to work really well, and Netflix and the NFL are going to benefit, and college football and the NBA are going to suffer because they didn't step up and claim and put a chokehold on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. They've made a mistake.
I definitely think it's a good idea to start moving things like sports to the streaming platforms. I don't know if they should exclusively do it at this point in time, just because, you're going to have those upset people that are like, well, the whole reason I bought cable television was so that I could watch sports, and watch the news. And so that's my only thing. I don't know if they should strictly only do it on streaming platform at this moment. It's not enough of those people anymore, Faith.
There's not enough of those people out there to make a.
I want everything fair for everybody.
Everybody can't have the big piece of chicken or the big drumstick on the turkey.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're right.
So, but no, I think it's a perfect marriage. Yeah. I'm going to be one of those people, and think about it. All those people that want to watch their WWE are going to keep their Netflix subscription, and there's going to be a lot more people. All those people that's going to watch that Mike Tyson, Jake Paul thing, they're going to flock to Netflix. And then you turn around Christmas Day, and you're going to be able to get the game exclusively on Netflix. And then not to mention all the shows and the Christmas programs and everything else. Netflix is doing it right.
Yep.
I'm surprised Amazon didn't just go. I thought if this ever came up, I thought Amazon would try to do everything under the sun to get this. I am shocked that Netflix got it.
Well. All right, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about how Conor McGregor breaks record with the UFC 303 fight with Michael Chandler. So make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about the NFL Christmas game sells to a new streaming service, and now we're going to be talking about Conor McGregor breaks the record with the UFC 303 fight with Michael Chandler.
Okay, this is going to be interesting.
Alrighty, so McGregor's upcoming fight against Michael Chandler has broken records with over $20 million in ticket sales. UFC President Dana White dismisses critics, highlighting the success of recent events, including gate records exceeding $20 million. McGregor's return to the octagon at UFC 303 reaffirms his status as the biggest star in MMA, surpassing past gate records. Conor McGregor has set a new record without even stepping into the octagon, despite a 3-year hiatus due to an injury. McGregor has reaffirmed his status. This article is a little bit repetitive. Scheduled to face off against Michael Chandler at the UFC 303 in Las Vegas on June 29th. McGregor's return has ignited unparalleled excitement among fans. The tickets for the highly anticipated event at the T-Mobile Arena went on sale on April 26th. Astonishingly, within just over 2 weeks, McGregor has propelled UFC 303 to a new milestone in ticket sales.
Okay. First off, McGregor, Mystic Mac. Been off for 3 years, coming off of back-to-back losses, or is it back-to-back-to-back losses? And he is still the biggest star in the UFC. It's just amazing to me. It is absolutely amazing to me. He has a hold on the casual UFC fan and the MMA fan that has never been seen before. I'm a Conor McGregor fan, but not a fanatic. But I love watching him fight. I love hearing stories about him, but I'm still just amazed. If you look around and you say, I think, this is off the top of my head, I think he's won one fight in his last 5, hasn't fought in 3 years, coming off a broken leg, and people don't care. People don't care, Faith. When you really look at it, the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, there's a ton of people excited about that. They're lining up. If you really look at Mike Tyson, when's the last time Mike Tyson actually won a fight? When you look at Conor McGregor, when's the last time he won a major fight? Yes, he beat Cowboy Cerrone and he beat Diaz before that, but that was years and years ago. And he's still setting records, and people cannot wait to see this. It's going to be that's going to be an interesting fight. Chandler is a guy you don't want to take light, but McGregor's going to be the much bigger guy. It's a fight that it's worth seeing. But the fact that he is UFC 300 just passed, and he's already outsold, setting records for the most tickets sold, meaning that the pay-per-view most likely is going to be a blockbuster as well. Outselling UFC 301. He has a hold on the UFC fan that is different. It's just different. Those Irish fans, they show up. That's the cool thing about McGregor is Faith. First off, as living in Europe, I got a special love for the Irish people, man. They're different. They're so different. I was flying in from the US the last time I flew in through Dublin. And I'm sitting on a flight, and people, they're singing and they're singing and walking around the aisles. This is on a flight. Everyone is. There's at least 40, 50 people singing and laughing and going over and talking to people. And I thought it was a group. I thought it was a group of people that were traveling together. And I asked the guy next to me, I'm like, so are you guys all together? Are you guys going to like some convention? And they're like, no, we're going to visit our daughter who lives in Portugal. And it's like, you don't know these people? Or it's like, no, we're just having a good time. You watch these Irish people, wherever you see them, they're always happy. They're always having a good time. And when their fighters are fighting or their team is playing, they jump on the plane and they go support their guy. And this is no different. Conor McGregor is one of their absolute biggest stars, and they're gonna show up for this fight. And watch, if you go watch this fight, you're gonna see them. They're gonna be walking around the stands. They're gonna be singing like crazy. There's no other people like the Irish people. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how this goes down. I hope Conor wins. I'm rooting for Conor. I hate to see Chandler lose because I'm not really rooting against Chandler. But how many times can a guy keep pulling these numbers without winning? Like I said, hasn't fought since he broke his leg. He lost that fight to Justin Poirier. He lost the fight before that. He lost the fight to Khabib. You understand what I mean? There is years since Conor McGregor has won, and I know that sounds like I'm throwing shade against him. I'm just stating facts. You can't go this long. I've said this about Mike Tyson. I've said it about John Jones, and I'm saying it about Conor McGregor. You can't go this long without fighting and think you can go to the well and still be as great as you are. I'm hoping that Conor McGregor can come through and pull through and put on a great show. Because if Conor McGregor goes out there and he puts on a great show, man, it mean the numbers that this guy can put up for the UFC is amazing. So
yeah,
that's my overtake. Go ahead.
Win or lose, Conor McGregor, just his presence in the ring, I think that's what it is. He's very entertaining to watch.
Listen, like he has this tattoo on his. Yeah, see, you don't even watch UFC and you know it's Strut.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing is you don't even watch UFC, but you know Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
That's what he does. You don't have to, normally it is UFC fans that watch UFC events.
Right.
But when Conor McGregor's involved, other people like Faith, who looks amazing in her dress today, shows up and starts rooting for Conor McGregor, and that's different.
Well, I am of Irish descent, so I mean, I kind of have to,
See, they just kind of show up for these events. And I mean, the Irish people really support their guys, and I love it. They're infectious when you're around them. They're the best kind of fun because they'll drink like crazy and they're happy drinkers. They're fun people. The men, the women, you can't go wrong hanging around the Irish. So I'm all for Conor McGregor winning and doing more events because it's just good for the sport overall.
Yep.
So, and Faith is a little Irish as well.
That's
so.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take another short break, and when we come back, we are going to dive into our dumb criminals for the week. So make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about Conor McGregor breaks record with the UFC 303 fight with Michael Chandler, and now we're going to dive into our dumb criminal story of the week. Alrighty. So, golfers strap a suspect hiding in a porta potty after police chase. So, Glendale police arrested a person trapped inside a porta potty at Lincoln Park Golf Course after they ran from a police chase Wednesday. I think this is a little bit of an older story, so I don't know what Wednesday they're talking about.
No, it's all good.
So Department of Transportation cameras capture a stolen and speeding SUV slamming into multiple cars on Northport Washington Road. The car careens into the grass, blows through the traffic barrels, and hits the I-43 guardrail. The car was stolen from Plymouth, Minnesota, according to Glendale police. Video shows 4 people come out from inside the car and flee the scene. Witnesses say 2 of them crossed the freeway before running into the nearby Lincoln Park golf course. We were on the 3rd hole and we heard a crash. Golfer Isla Boldlin said Boldlin and her friends were golfing at Lincoln Park when they say they saw the pair making a run for it. There was a similar child that was heading towards the porta potty, and I'm thinking, there's no way he's going to go in there, she said. One of the 2 suspects ran through the golf course and into the porta potty, according to Boldlin. The other suspect kept running into a nearby wooded area, she said. Boldlin's friend Adam took matters into his own hands. Adam had gone over to see if the kid was still in there and then decided to push the porta potty over, trapping him inside, Boldlin said.
Oh, hell. Oops, sorry.
Adam said it was really smelly and he could hear the sloshing, so I could just imagine the stench. Boldlin took out her cell phone and started recording as police closed in. Video shows multiple police squad cars driving across the green. Officers then surrounded the porta potty with guns down. Video shows the person inside climbing out and surrendering. Other golfers at the course were stunned at what they were seeing. There were 2 people that decided to wait for an hour instead of going off at their tee time just because they were fearful, said James Mayer, a starter at the golf course. Other golfers were worried they wouldn't get their tee time in and were hurrying to get going. It was a swift arrest for Glendale police officers, but likely a smelly ride in the squad car. It was a fantastic opportunity to be in the right place at the right time, even if it was a crappy situation for the kid, Boldlin said. Glendale police arrested 2 of the 4 suspects that ran from the car. It's not clear where the other suspects were arrested. Police say they are still investigating.
Okay, Faith. I don't like porta potties.
I don't
want to make
either.
Sure you know.
I don't
Can't stand
either.
them.
I was about to say that.
Oh, no.
I don't like porta potties, and I have a fear anytime that the only bathroom available is a porta potty. I have a fear that the porta potty is going to fall over and I'm going to get stuck in it.
First off, I have seen this happen. And I got a fear of it. I saw, it was college, fraternity event. It was a big old event. Guy went in the porta potty and a bunch of other guys came over and pushed that sucker over, and I watched it. And it was like, oh, hell no. I'm sorry. I'm doing 6 to 10 years. If I'm in a porta potty and somebody turns it over, I am doing time. I'm going to get every ounce of that. I'm beating them down. I'm beating down their mama, their grandmama, great grandma too. I'm beating the whole family down. You dump me in a in a porta potty.
Yeah.
It must be. It's Armageddon at that point.
Yeah.
Because it is not pretty what happens when you dump somebody in a porta potty. Mm-hmm. Ooh, no. If they dump me, I just want the police to go ahead and shoot me. Just go ahead and shoot me. Take me out, but take me out. Get behind the wheel, Satan.
Lord.
Oh, hell no. Okay. Now, you got to comment on this as well. But the first question I have, I'm not a criminal. So I don't roll in this lane. I love how you had to put
that out there. I love how you had to
because I got questions. I got questions here. Okay. Let's say you and I are in a car and there's two other people. There's a guy driving, somebody's in the front. And out of nowhere, they take off. Police are chasing behind them. They're doing 80, 90, 100 miles per hour. You're in the back seat. I'm in the other back seat. There's a guy in the passenger seat. And they run him off the road. Why are the police arresting the other dudes in the car? They're not driving. They're not pushing the pedal to the metal. So why do they get arrested? Because I see that every
they
time.
They ran. You don't run away from
police officers. Did not run. You did not run. You're in the one back seat. I'm in the other back seat. There's someone in the passenger.
They all ran away.
Right. There's no law saying you can't run. The guy driving is the one that's resisting arrest. He's the one that...
Well, you don't know what they all did, so they probably all were resisting arrest if they all ran away.
That's an assumption. That is not breaking the law, though. That is not breaking the law. You don't see that? You don't agree with me at all on this one.
If police run the people who are in the car off the road and you didn't do anything wrong, why are you running away?
Because I'm running away because the police are coming after this dude and he may get shot and I don't want a stray bullet coming my way, so I'm running the opposite direction. That's my thought process. Do you see my side of this one?
No.
Oh, babe.
No, I don't. The car was stolen. It said the video shows 4 people come from inside the car. So,
right. So you and your brother,
4 people stole a car together.
You guys say, "Hey Tate, we gonna come pick you up. We going to Applebee's." I don't know why Applebee's, but we going to Applebee's.
Hey, they got $2 margaritas.
We got $2 margaritas up in here. Your brother's driving. You got your sister in the front seat, you in the back, and y'all pick me up. I'm like, nice car. Brother picked us up. I get in the car. Hey, Faith, how's it going? How's it going, family? Y'all driving down the 405. I see the popo with the lights on the back. Next thing you know, he pushes on the gas and takes off. Runs y'all off the road. I'm just jumping out of the car because I'm like, listen, I don't know what's going on, but let me go the opposite direction because I don't want no stray lead my way. So I go the opposite direction.
You ain't got to book it across a freeway, though. They were booking it across a freeway into a golf course. If you didn't do anything wrong, why are you running across a busy freeway?
Maybe they had a discount on membership.
No.
And it was like, it has to be noon. And it was 11:58.
Come on.
It's like, come on. All right. There's all kind of things. I love hearing your reactions to the crazy stuff that I say. I know I say these crazy things, but I do always see that it's like always the guy in the passenger seat that wasn't driving, wasn't getting away. He was just in the car. He didn't know that his crazy friend decided to take off. How does he get arrested every time? And they're always the slow one getting out of the car.
I don't know. I don't typically hang around, criminals. I don't hang around.
This is why I'm asking these questions.
Stealing cars or anything. So.
This is why I started with the prefaces that I'm not a criminal, because I don't think this way. And so I was just trying to understand, why are these people getting arrested when they're not I'm sorry. I just looking at things in multiple ways here. The dude, and also
the way guy, you are defending these people running out of the car.
I'm not defending. I'm asking questions.
You're like, I'm not a criminal, but
I'm just saying that, especially the dude that went to the porta potty. Maybe he was running because he had to go really bad, and he went to the porta potty, and then the little kid dumped it over on him. I don't know.
He had to go so
Anyway,
bad that he ran across a busy freeway and chose to go in a porta potty.
all right. I understand what you are
That's
saying.
when you just go on the side of the road, man. I would rather do that than a porta potty.
That's a hard one. Like,
I don't like
ooh, you
either,
brought
but
up,
I think I
ooh,
would. I think
baby,
I would
you
rather
brought
use
up
the
a
bathroom on the
great
side of the
point.
road.
You pull over on the side of the road, there's a porta potty there, or just the side of the road. Which one do you go to?
Unless it's one of those really, really nice porta potties that you can flush and it has a little hand sink in there, I would
Oh,
rather go
you
on the
know
side of the
what?
road.
I
But
got
those
you on
porta
that one.
potties are nice. I don't mind going in
Yes.
those. Those are nice ones.
I the one I don't like porta potties, and I don't like those highway rest stop ones either.
I don't mind those. The ones in
Those
Georgia are
suckers are
really nice.
gross.
No, the ones in Georgia are really nice.
Okay,
They're
I
nice
maybe
clean.
haven't been to one. I've been to some of those ones on those little rest stop areas, and there's all kind of crazy stuff to go on at rest stops. People people go on tour on those rest stops. So I don't mess with those rest stops at
I
all.
never had a problem
No.
with those rest stops.
Well, we'll talk about the rest stops on off. This is that those rest stop ones are not they're not even show approved comments. I don't mess with those rest stops either. Porta potties and rest stops. I'd rather go on the side of the road than
Mm,
either one of those. So all right, we didn't cover that one enough. That's a good one though.
yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take our last break of the day, and when we come back, we are going to dive into our oddities of the day. So make sure you guys stick around, and we'll be back in a minute. Alrighty, guys. Welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about our dumb criminals for the week, and now we're going to dive into our oddities of the day. Now, if you have been watching this show, you know back in, I believe it was February, we covered Groundhog's Day. And
Hey, nice.
we talked about Puxatawny Phil. Well, there has been some new information dropped on Puxatawny Phil.
Oh
So,
no. Are you on the gossip page with Dr. Tony Phil? Like, how you gonna get celebrity gossip on the groundhog? I ain't never heard no groundhog gossip before.
oh,
Dang.
he's just so freaking cute. He's the cutest thing ever. Okay, so if you didn't know, Puxatawny Phil and his girlfriend, wife, partner, Phyllis,
I didn't even
had
know he had a girl. Oh,
yeah.
sorry. He pulling chicks at the groundhog meetup.
Yep. I didn't know he had a girl either until I read this, and I was like, wow, I didn't know, yeah. But they had babies. Puxatawny Phil had
Yeah,
babies.
he is going to the meetup then.
Oh, so Puxatawny Phil's babies are named Shadow and Sunny. Just don't call them the heirs apparent. Punxsutawney Phil's offspring now have names that just might help the famed weather forecasting groundhog to predict when spring will begin. Phil's human handlers chose Mother's Day to announce that the two kids born this spring to Phil and his partner Phyllis are named Sunny and Shadow. Sunny is a female, Shadow is a male. Each spring, Phil makes a prediction about the length of the remaining winter. Excuse me. According to tradition, if he sees his shadow, there will be 6 more weeks of cold. This year, Phil did not see his shadow and therefore predicted an early spring. These kits are not replacements. They're not the heir apparent. Don McGinley, vice president of Punxsutawney Groundhog Club Inner Circle, said in a phone interview Monday, Sunny and Shadow will not be a part of the ceremony. It's still Phil's job. There's still only one Punxsutawney Phil. The club received hundreds of suggestions for the pups' names. The final decision emerged after a one-on-one between Phil and the club president, Tom Dunkel. Today's the first family of groundhogs has grown. Punxsutawney Phil and wife Phyllis have 2 kits of their own. McGinley read from a scrolling announcing the name of the pups born to royalty in a video posted on social media on Sunday. The babies were discovered in March by a club member who was feeding fruit and vegetables to Phil and Phyllis. The groundhog family lives in a climate-controlled burrow at the local library.
Okay, well, listen to this article. They should have named, instead of Sunny and Shadow, they should have named their kid Unemployed and Need a Job. That's what I'm hearing.
I know.
That's some bull crap there. It's like Sunny and Shadow, and they can't get their daddy is Punxsutawney Phil. This is one of those times where he should be Punxsutawney Phil Jr. That's why one of them should be upset, because then he could get the job. You didn't do him no favor. It's like LeBron James. LeBron James' son is Bronny James. He getting a job with the Lakers.
Let's not compare Punxsutawney Phil to LeBron James and Bronny James, because Punxsutawney Phil's prediction percentage is not great, so I don't know if we should compare them to one of the best basketball
LeBron
players
James
of
is
all
a little bit more predictable than Punxsutawney Phil. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
See, okay, Faith, because of you educate me on things in life. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know Elmo had a daddy. Now I know Elmo got a daddy. Punxsutawney Phil is pulling the ladies. He got him a girl.
Phil
and
and
he
Phyllis.
got some little,
and he got some kids.
And he got some kids. He got some little chitlins on the side. But they don't got a job. You better hope he.
Right, what are they supposed to do?
I hope Groundhog Day pays good money so they got a trust fund or something, because they letting them know right off the giddy up. You born today, you're not getting a job later on.
Yeah, I wonder if once Punxsutawney Phil moves on to the next chapter of his life, if one of the children will take over.
No, they already telling us in the article. No, don't think these kids are getting the job.
No, I think they were saying they're not going to replace Phil right now, because Phil is obviously still in line.
Okay. But if you listen to this, they are saying it doesn't matter. They're not getting the gig. And
then what the heck are they supposed to do with these kids, man?
Apparently, they living at Phyllis's house, because they ain't living at Punxsutawney's house, because I remember Punxsutawney got his own crib.
They all live together. They all live in that little burrow together.
Do you think so?
It said right here. It said the groundhog family lives in a climate-controlled burrow at the local library. And remember...
Oh, so they do.
They all live together.
See, she should have got a prenup saying that the kids got to get the job in the future. That's all I'm saying. Phyllis should have got her a good lawyer to take care of those kids. Because
I love how we're talking like these aren't animals. We are talking about Punxsutawney Phil like it's the Kardashians.
I was just going to say, you don't think Caitlyn Jenner took care? Look at Kim, Khloe, the whole family, even the one his brother that looked like a hedgehog. He got it.
Rob.
Yeah, see? How did you know? I didn't even have to say his name. I just said he looked like a hedgehog, and you knew exactly who I was talking about.
They only have one brother.
See, I didn't know that. I did not realize. I thought there was more than one boy out there.
No, they only have one brother.
I thought you knew who I was talking about just because of the description of a hedgehog. Then I said,
"Don't do my man Rob like that."
But the whole family is in the same business. Don't you think Shadow and Sonny, like when Daddy comes out, you know, they come out, little Sonny comes out, and she hands Daddy the hat, and the little boy hands him the cane. Make it a family event. It could be, listen, put it on Netflix. Everything else is on Netflix.
Put it on Netflix. We need a reality TV show, the Punxsutawney Phil.
What was that one? Honey Boo Boo. She can get a show. Why can't the Groundhogs get a show? There was Meerkat Manor. Why can't the Groundhogs? You know people will watch it, right or wrong.
I would watch it.
I'm at least turning in for one episode. That's all I'm getting at, is that I'm going to watch at least one episode. But I apologize again. Faith, I try to be civilized. I try to be. And you make me look so bad. You got me defending people that's just innocently on a ride with their friends.
I'm not telling you to say these things. You make your own choices.
You know I didn't have no good upbringing. I depend on you to keep me civilized, Faith. This is the thing. This is what we do. This is why you're here, to keep me under control.
There are consequences and repercussions.
Repercussions for your actions. It is funny, but I am tripping on you because you are finding about Groundhog Punxsutawney Phil's gossip out there.
Yeah.
He got a girl. He got kids.
Honestly, when we did the story on Groundhog Day about Punxsutawney Phil, I did not realize how big Punxsutawney Phil was. I didn't know how big the event was. I didn't know these people go crazy for some Punxsutawney Phil.
Yes, they do.
They raise him up in the air and it's Punxsutawney Phil, and the entire audience is yeah, Punxsutawney Phil, yeah. And he doesn't even do anything. All he does is
he comes out and makes the wrong decision.
But I think he has a 30 to 40%.
If you 70% of the time, if you go the opposite direction of him, you got it made. Shadow needs to go out on her own or his own and just do the opposite of whatever Daddy does. Just do the opposite of what Daddy do. You don't even have to look at your shadow. Just wait for your dad and then do your own YouTube channel where you're just predicting the opposite of what your daddy has done. That's all you got to do. You'd be famous because Daddy is always wrong. He probably picked the wrong girl. He probably picked the wrong. He picked the wrong groundhog.
I think has a 40-something% accuracy rate. So it's not he's terrible. He's almost at 50%.
You sure? Because you said 30, then you kicked up to 40.
I said 30 to 40.
Now you said 50. I think you just kind of liking him and trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
To 50. I'll look right now. Here.
He's probably 37%. 30% of the time he is wrong because he is always wrong. Come on, give it.
It got hot. Oh, okay. Punxsutawney Phil has been accurate 39% of the time.
I said 37%. He's not even 40%, Faith. You understand?
In the last decade, he's been correct 40% of the time.
So in 100 years, he got the 40% once. In 100 years. You understand?
It's more than 100 years. They've been doing this since 1887.
Now, Faith, I know you got a nice quality family. If you came home and you took your finals and you threw up a 39% on your final, nobody putting that on the refrigerator. The family's not going to talk about you. And you know what I mean?
Speaking of which, I got my grades back yesterday.
Talk to me.
All A's, baby.
You did a 4.0?
I did this semester.
Faith, that is awesome. Congratulations. Now, see,
thank you.
I give you permission to go outside your house and predict if we're going to have longer summers or winter, because you've proven to be a successful person.
It's still springtime over here right now.
Do you understand? At a 39% clip, he is an F student. You are an
He's
A
a
student.
groundhog.
You are more qualified to predict the future than that little loser groundhog who always gets bad grades.
Don't call him a loser.
Sucker's at 39%. He's not even
Tate
getting
has
D's.
beef with Pugsatawny Phil for some reason.
The sucker's only getting 39% grade. He's an F student. Why am I looking up to him? And apparently he's knocking people up because he got 2 kids out of wedlock.
It's his wife. They're married.
I didn't see no paper. I don't see no ring on that finger.
Okay.
On that one, I'm leaving. That is it for today's show.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.